What's up, everybody? It is, of course, your boy Andrew Esquire here on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Hope you are doing well out there, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, like me over here in Asia, midday, or night, or wherever it is. I wish you all sincerely the best, and we're here to have some fun today. That being said, oh boy, did we have a great weekend. But it always, the weekend for me always rounds out with some craziness. And, on Sunday, this was the particular craziness of the week. Of course, I have to establish that, of course, this is live. Natasha says, I knew it was a premiere. Yes, of course. It's a premiere where I can highlight your super chats and respond to them live. Very advanced. This is our advanced premiere. This is our advanced premiere technology. It's very advanced here. It's called going live. But drop those live emojis in the chat here today. Not a pre-record. You got 100% authentico Andrew. It's so authentic. I can even see Stephen Gosney in the chat asking whether we're live or not. And if I see Stephen Gosney, well, that's like a rainbow. And it just makes the day better. It just makes the day better. No, but we're going to talk about this. There's right now, Trump is actually live talking about it. So what I think is we will be watching that first, then going over a little bit like an article or two, then talking a little bit about the litigation against Trump, because that's some of the other big news. We were going to have on Mr. Khan, who is the falsely accused gentleman who was on. He was on with Nate. He was on Civil, but Nate put me in touch with him. Believe it or not, Nate still talks to me despite feuded on Twitter. We're still cool. I know it's weird, but no, Nate put me in touch with him. Got in touch with him. Was supposed to go today, but he said he was sick, not feeling well. So we rescheduled for another day. So we'll get him on another day for an interview. So we'll have that coming to you live, not pre-recorded, another day. We also this week will have coming up Pimpcast. Pimpcast will be coming up as well. Oh, somebody said Rumble's not working. Okay, hold on. Rumble should be good now. So for those that are over there on Rumble should be good now. So we'll see. I think I just fixed things there. But yeah, always a fun challenge when you're streaming on multiple platforms. Yeah, Rumble is fine now. It's fine. But good to see everybody here on all the platforms, even Rumble and locals as well. Good to see my locals homie. Let me give you a special shout out to Sleazy, C3 Metal, not Brandon. Oh God, 3 beers. Good to see everybody over there. Mike likes tacos. All y'all degenerates. The locals degenerates. All y'all degenerates. Appreciate seeing you over on locals as well. I'm monitoring all platforms as we go through here. Is this live? Says, or is this AI Andrew? No, it is not AI Andrew. Not at all. Over here for 199 says, hi, legal. I'm new here. Well, welcome. All those new who are not new, all those that may be joining or, coming through. It's good to see everybody here today in the morning. It's a little bit different. Normally I've been on Disney very much. So I am trying to take a little bit of a, toe in on other topics. I'll probably be jumping in with Disney streams soon enough. But of course, this is big enough. I think merits enough of a solo stream. Scorpio Red Dragon says, or is it Memorex? No, it's not. It's not Memorex. It's not Memorex or any X's out there. Not latex, Memorex, or AI. It's all good, all natural, all legal mindset. So let's jump over here. Now, this is what I want to kind of run into is this live. This is Trump. So it is very, very interesting to get some comments from him. This just started. It's actually live. We're rewinding it a little bit. But I wanted to kind of go through this because I think it will be interesting to comment on and, kind of play off a Big Daddy T. Because not just is he talking about the conflict, which is obviously the news du jour right now, but also he's going to obviously end up talking about his charges, right? So that's it's a little bit of a combination of the trend, the thing that's going on right now, obviously is really his Hamas conflict and also the allegations. So let's hear real quick from El former Presidente, Donald Trump.
I withdrew from Barack Hussein Obama's. Has anybody ever heard of him yet? Remember Rush
Trump is
Limbaugh?
live too.
Rush?
Trump is live.
Go Barack
Mindset
Hussein
is very legal.
Obama. Remember Barack Hussein Obama.
And I will be, because it's live, but I will be pausing it a little bit. If there's something really like memorable or something for me to talk about, I'll pause it. I'll go big screen. I'll talk about, that's how I do it. Guys, make sure to like the stream. We're going to be doing a lot, and I want to be streaming a lot more on other topics, news topics. So if you guys like the stream, let me know, hey, you guys are liking it, and we can get the word out there to do some good coverage.
Drew from Barack Hussein Obama's horrendous Trans-Pacific Partnership would have been a disaster for you and for all of those people that are in Michigan right now and South Carolina, so many different places that are making cars. You do a little bit less so, but you do a damn good job at farming. But I will tell you, they want to take your car industry away. They're going to take it away. They're going to do the electric vehicle nonsense. You drive... You put a little circle around your house. You can't go outside the circle. You'll never come back. You can drive it. The first 10 minutes is one of the greatest feelings on earth. The next hour, you're in trauma, thinking about where the hell are you going to have the car charged? Oh, you had that. Yeah, you had that. Now, we want to have choice in schools, and we want to have choice in cars, right? You want gasoline if you want. Of anything, they want to make your trucks and your tractors electric too. Anybody have a nice, big, beautiful John Deere? Raise your hand. Yes. How would you like to have a big battery attached to the top of it, bigger than the tractor itself? That's part of the problem.
I love trying to follow Don because he's like all over the place sometimes.
They want
he's like such stream of consciousness.
Electric. So that when we go into enemy territory, blasting the hell out of everybody, we do it in an environmentally friendly way. Okay? That's what they're doing. Like, these people are
following
crazy.
His stream of consciousness is always very interesting.
They're crazy. And they want your trucks. I'm meeting with the trucking industry next week. They want your big trucks. They take these loads so big. And, you have
big load. Okay.
Peterbilt, some great firms. They make these incredible trucks, these cabs, and they can go for 2,000 miles. With an electric, you can go for 300 miles, and the battery's so big you'll have no room to store anything else. Other than that, it's wonderful. And it doesn't have actually the pull weight, supposedly. But think of that. How crazy is it, right? And so the trucking industry they don't know what to do because there's nobody they don't even listen to them. 2,000 miles versus 300 miles. You don't have to say anything else. But also the batteries are massive. I was in South Carolina the other day, the boating industry, and I was with some incredible companies that make boats. And one of them, they said, there's a problem. They don't want us to go faster than 2 miles an hour now. Because, listen to this, they don't want to hurt the whales. There's only been one whale affected in the last 50 years. And yet they'll build windmills all over the ocean, and the whales are washing up at short levels never seen before.
Okay, first of all, whales aren't normally like near the surface. Like, if that is real, that's ridiculous. If anybody knows if that's actually true, so like whales are normally not near the surface. Now, being a Floridian, I will say, look out for the manatees, okay? Because I love me a manatee. I do love me a manatee, and by manatee, I do not mean a fat woman who is swimming at a kiddie pool, right? We're not talking about that. Not that type of shallow water manatee. We're talking about the actual mammal species separate from fat Homo sapiens. Manatees, Florida. Love them. Gentle creatures. Very nice, right? Watch out for them. But we have manatee zones. We know where they are and aren't, right? So, yeah, I mean, we're pretty good at managing that. Don't need to slow us down too much on that one. Also, one quick shout out. Rose D gave 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much, Rose D, for the memberships. Appreciate you here donating. Your donations, helping out with memberships is exactly what helps this channel thrive. And having good people come to this channel, get the memberships is great. And guys, if you click on our gift and you click accept gift membership, you can get those. So you have access to all the emojis, the live emoji, Disney Castle on Fire, the rat, the amber turd, all the good stuff over here on the Legal Mindset. And there'll be more emojis coming down the pike. Oh, good to see Legally Dirty Blonde podcast. Good to see you in the chat as well. So let's keep rolling with this. Come on.
But they want a battery boat, a fully electric boat. And, you know, you have those beautiful Mercury engines and the other ones, the outboards and the inboards.
This
and
is fucked up, Natasha.
Tiny smell of a little gasoline.
You're right. You want to go harpoon them like Will. No.
Because we have more of it than anybody else by far. But they want the boats. I said to the guy, well, how do you think it'll work? He said, well, it's a problem because the battery's so big, we won't have any room for anybody. We'll be sitting on top of a battery. And we're not sure that we can make the boat float. It's so heavy. And I asked him, and I told this just to one of the group. I said, so let's say the boat starts to sink and you're sitting on top of this massive battery and you get electrocuted. Do you get electrocuted? I mean, I don't want to be near that battery in the water. The problem is there may be a shark about 10 yards away. And you know what I said? I'll take the battery every single time. We'll take electrocution over a shark. But they want to make boats all electric too, and it's just great. What they're doing is insane. In California, they have blackouts every weekend. California's a mess. You know, Gavin Newsom is talking about, oh, it's one. This guy, let me just tell you, California.
Okay, yeah, I will take that. Like Gavin Newsom is never going to win any sort of like national election. It's just not. It's not gonna happen. I would take, let's see, electrocution of the shark. I would definitely like, yeah, electrocution is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah, saltwater batteries can't go wrong. No problems there, right?
Complete wreck. And their price just hit $8 a gallon for gasoline. Okay? Don't worry about it. You're not that far behind. You're hitting an all-time record gas prices right now. You know, he used what we did. We filled up the strategic reserves, and he used that to keep prices low for the election. And now it's at the lowest level it's ever been. And that was supposed to be for things like war, not for filling up somebody's gasoline tank. The TPP was a Wall Street hit job on manufacturing and communities. And just like this one, actually, it would have slaughtered millions and millions of American jobs, and I kept you out of it. Ron DeSanctimonious voted for that TPP globalist betrayal of American workers. You would have lost half your jobs. And he proudly supported it alongside of beautiful Hillary Clinton. See, we don't call her Clinton anymore. We changed
beautiful.
That the very beautiful Hillary Clinton, Barack Hussein.
On that question, it is always a pass. Like on the smasher pass, that is a pass. That's a hard pass.
And Obama, Rhino Paul Ryan. Did you ever hear of Rhino Paul? We have a new name for him, Rhino Paul Rhino. He's such a rhino, we do it twice. Rhino Paul Ryan. Rhino Paul Rhino. Joe Biden and the rest of the establishment, these are all people that I don't know, do they hate our country? You look at the things they approve. It's a Washington swamp. DeSantis is just another globalist backstabber, but thankfully, you know, I got him elected. Then they asked him 4 years later, would you run against the president? He said, I have no comment. That means he's running. Somebody said, sir, don't hit him now. He's a Republican. I said, I don't care if he's a Republican or not. We're going to hit him. And we did hit him. He's like a wounded bird going down. I don't know. I hear he's dropping out of the race, by the way, but let's see. Who knows? But thankfully, I stopped them all, and I terminated their TPP disaster my first week in office. I passed the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history by far, ended Obama's war on American energy. It was a war. Gasoline prices plummeted, and we actually had them down to even $1.57, 59 for a short period of time, but we had them $1.87. We'll take anything under $2.
And real quick, just as a quick shout out for my members here, want to give a quick shout out to Is It Live that upgraded to Base Legal Mindset. Appreciate you, Is It Live, for being based in Legal Mindset Pilled. Also, quick shout out to Gemma, who rejoined here as a member. Appreciate you rejoining as a member, and all those guys who are members out there. You guys are the base Chads and Stacys that this country needs. Back to the big man.
What does that mean for your tractors? Remember I told you, I said, I'm going to make a great deal with China. Go out and buy a larger tractor and more land. Remember? And I came through, but you were with me because we suffered for 1 year. It was a tough negotiation with them. As you probably know, they're tough negotiators, right? but we got them, and we got you $28 billion, and we got hundreds of billions of dollars from China for the country. Not one president got 10 cents from China. Hence, as some people would say, we ended up with the China virus. You know, they weren't so happy with me, but that's okay. We got along with them fine, but they had to pay, and they did. $28 billion we got the farmers. It's that's why I sounded very arrogant. Somebody said, "Sir, please don't take Iowa or Nebraska or Wisconsin or others, farm areas. Please don't take them for granted, sir. It's not good." I said, listen, I got them $28 billion from China. And if I sound a little arrogant, I don't see them voting against me no matter what I do. So I don't want to sound arrogant. But we are leading here by 44 points. So. And we will not play, for those people that watch football, we will not play the worst defense in history. What is the worst defense? Prevent. Matt's a great football player. We will not play, Matt, prevent defense. You know, isn't that the craziest defense? A team holds another team scoreless for the entire game. Now it just needs one more couple of minutes, and they go prevent. And they lose. You know what it's called? Prevent defense. It prevents you from winning. So we're not going to do prevent defense, okay? Does it actually work? I've never seen it work.
I'm trying to get his metaphor here.
We will not play prevent.
Is the metaphor that that's like the most of the other Republicans? I guess he's going to get to it here, but that's a very interesting metaphor. Planodian says, "I'm for Trump, but my dream has been for him to be the first man to kick a field goal on the moon." And he still just seems so far from that. It's possible. I mean, with 2028 technology, it may be possible to have Trump kick a field goal on the moon. It may happen. I mean, don't count it out. I'm pretty sure we can AI generate that, Planodine. I'm pretty sure that somebody right now can go out and AI generate that image. Marsupio Gamer, member for 2 months, says, hey there, Marsupio Gamer. Good to see you and all those people using their member chats, because, of course, as a member, you get a free member chat. So you can just toss that out anytime like a super chat. Good to see Marsupio Gamer. Really great guy. Glad to meet him at Anime Matsuri last year, and hope we get to hang out in the future. Let's continue.
The economy boomed. We created 500,000 new manufacturing jobs, and household incomes rose by a record $6,000 a year under Trump, right? I love that mugshot. I love that beautiful woman right there with the mugshot.
The mugshot of Trump. That just made him more famous.
Can you imagine what they're doing? The weaponization? Oh, she's got one. They're all over the place. Hopefully we'll get rid of them fairly soon, too. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. They're weaponizing our Justice Department, our FBI, what they're doing, because they can't win fair and square. Cheated like hell last time. This is a different form of cheating this time. It's called election interference. Smear somebody and then watch him go down. But this is the first time in history. I'm the only man in history that got indicted, and 4 times over nothing. But I got indicted, and my poll numbers have gone through the roof. Never happened before. It's never happened. Usually when that happens...
Well, let's actually be clear. What's happening to Trump is unprecedented legally in the history of the United States. So it's not just like his indictment that's unprecedented. It's the fact that this is even happening, and on a level here where every single case is clearly political, and there's now not just 1, 2, 3. There's dozens of cases out there against Donald Trump. By the way, some of them are going to be dismissed. Some of them are moving towards dismissals. Some of them are going to fail. Some of them have been paused for review of classified documents. That's something. So there's a lot going on. I do think some of these cases will get tossed. Now, not all of them will. And is it likely he may get convicted on some of them? Sure, because once again, you can have pretty deranged jury pools. And when you've got so many cases, of course, one jury can go against you. And, you get one jury of very foaming at the mouth Dems, and you're out of luck. So, yeah, this is something that is going to be big, but it has made him popular. It's made him beloved because he's wrongfully being prosecuted. I mean, that's the most gangster shit out of there. like them coming for you for no reason. Speaking of gangster shit, Leprechaun Gold dropping a 50 Shiba Inu super sticker. Appreciate you so much for that. Thank you for that support of the channel, Leprechaun Gold. Always appreciate the gold raining down. That being said, let's rock and roll here.
A guy goes to the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I will be going home to my family now. I will clear my name. I will clear my name. No, the people get it. These are crooked people. That's the way they want to win. It's election interference. And if I weren't running, or if I were in fourth place, third place, seventh place, which we're not, we're leading by, I think, 62 points overall. We would have had none of this stuff.
Listen to
none of it would have happened. These are dirty players. They're bad people. They're not stupid. You know, when you look at some of their policies, like open borders, etc., you say, are they stupid? They're not stupid, but they are, I think, really maybe trying to destroy our country because there's no other reason for it. Now we're ready to take our American First economic program to even greater heights. When I'm elected, we will have tax cuts, regulation cuts, energy price cuts, and interest rates cuts like you've never seen before, even with me.
So I'll be very fair here. Like, obviously, Trump is making a lot of campaign promises here. Some of these he can control. Some of these are not inside of his control, right? Because there's macroeconomic things that are kind of outside of the control of the president directly. So, like, can he deliver on all those? Probably most of them, but some are going to be pretty difficult to handle. But certainly, anybody can do better than the Biden economic policy. Like a child with crayons can do better than the Biden economic policy. Let's continue here.
You know what caused the inflation was energy. It's not that complicated. And it also caused Putin to go into Ukraine, although he would have never done it as president, even if he did have the energy resources. Because, you know, when it went up to $100 a barrel, he makes a fortune on a war. He'll be the only guy to ever make a fortune on a war. And Biden's the one complaining, but he's the one that drove the energy prices up. So he caused the war with his stupidity, with his absolute, look, he's the most corrupt. He's the most,
that's accurate.
Just the most absolute. He's the worst president in the history of our country.
That's up there.
He's grossly incompetent.
I mean, he
talks about the war, but he's driving the energy prices up. And Putin's whole economy is in energy. And so at $100 a barrel, no matter what he spends on the war, that's the way it is. But Putin would have never done it. I met with him many times. Ukraine was the apple of his eye. But I said, Vladimir, don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it, this is what's going to happen. Someday I'll tell you what I said. He said, no way.
He's like, Vladimir. If you don't do it, I'm going to make you the best borscht ever. This borscht is going to change your life. Brandon, the anime guy, says, glad you're covering these subject. Be unbreaded. Unbreaded, just like the big man here. Snuggle Struggle says, under President Trump, we had peace, stability, and a strong leader. Biden fortified into power with diplomacy, weakness, and the world is now on fire. The U.S. is busy persecuting political opposition, hypocrisy. Yes, that's exactly what's going on. Is Biden, essentially, like I said, through the electoral process, got in, and now you see what's going on in the world. Like, it has been nothing but nonstop problems for the last 4 years. Nothing. And not even the campaign promise to end COVID, right? Went off the way it was promised. It was promised to end COVID in a very clean, succinct, unanimous way. That didn't happen. Biden kept none of his campaign promises. Zero. Trump, on the other hand, which is what I saw Night Motorcyclist saying this, look, Trump did not keep all of his promise, but he kept more than most, right? And that, as a standard, it's like, well, it's a vote. I'm picking the person who's the better of the two. It doesn't mean they're perfect. Trump's not perfect. I'm not the person who says Trump is perfect, but he's better, certainly by far, clearly by far. And Joe Biden may go up there as the worst president, although I'm just waiting for the weekend at Bernie's to be over and for, Kamala to step in as the first strong woman president. That is coming, guys, by the way. That is absolutely 100% coming. Is the Kamala.
Way. He said, no way you'll do that. I said, I will. I swear to you, I will. I'm going to do it. And he didn't believe me. But he believed me 10%. And that's all you needed. That was it. Same thing with President Xi in China. Don't go into Taiwan. He believed me 10% too, and that was enough.
10%. 10%. That's like Sex Panther. It works 50% of the time, every time. Like, but that you know what though? There is something to saying that. Like the little bit, like them believing that Trump can be unpredictable, that sort of wild card element of Trump, like I don't believe these other motherfuckers, but Trump may actually do it. Like he may actually do it. That little bit of thought, that second guessing, that is really valuable when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to foreign policy, that like Trump might actually do it. That like this motherfucker is crazy enough to do it. Like his level of fucks given is low. That actually is very valuable. And that's where I think his strongest suit was. His strongest suit was foreign policy. Strongest suit. And no new wars, no new billions of dollars spent. I mean, talking about $28 billion in Wisconsin. How about instead of $50 billion to Ukraine, we sent that to Wisconsin? I think that'd be money better spent rather spent here than sent there.
What's happened is so bad. I think a lot of it started with Afghanistan. That was the most incompetent withdrawal in history. They withdrew, think of it, they withdrew the military first. You take your citizens out first, you take the people you need out first, then you get your $85 billion worth of equipment and you get it out. Brand new military equipment.
Which is now in Israel.
Afghanistan now is, I think, the number 2 merchant in the world for selling military equipment. They're selling the stuff we get, brand new, gorgeous stuff. I rebuilt the entire military.
Which is, by the way, it's ended up in Hamas's hands. I mean, I think that's at this point that's been confirmed. Is there's American military equipment that's ended up on that side, in the hands of Iran, in the hands of all sorts of other powers. Thank you, Biden. Thank you for that.
They gave $85 billion of it away. The good news is we have plenty of others, although we're very low on ammunition. We're low because we're giving so much. It's very, very bad. We are closer to World War III than we've ever been.
That's a factual
statement. I'm the only one that will prevent World War III. I'm telling you, we are closer to World War III. And that won't be a war with army tanks going back and forth here. That will be a war with weaponry, the likes of which this world has never seen before. I know it. I know it better than anybody. And these are weapons. You'll need God. That's true. He said, God. Well, thank you very much. That's a beautiful. He said, God gave me to you. How nice is that? Oh, I like this man. Wow. Well, I hope that's right. Oh, great. I hope you're right about that, though. That's a great honor that you even say it. Under the Trump administration, patriotic
Trump is really good with the audience. I gotta say, you got to give that to Trump. He works
some
the audience.
Oh, that's such a terrible word. It's not a terrible. Nationalism is not a bad word either.
Classic. It's classic.
I'm nationalistic. I think most of the people here. But if you say that to the radical left lunatics, they'll say, oh, that's terrible. Conspiracy. But it'll be the American way, and the American way of life again used to be that way. It's time for a rebirth of loyalty to our country. We need loyalty to our country. To protect American workers and families, I will impose an across-the-board tariff on foreign-made goods that come into our country. If they're going to come into our country, and if they're going to pillage, in many ways, our country, or do a good job, they have to pay for the right to come into our country. Because right now they're destroying our country on trade. We have trade imbalances at levels that nobody's ever seen. And I was all set to do it. And
that's okay. So on tariffs, because tariffs are really interesting. I would be okay with tariffs if you're going to bring in tariffs and you're going to reduce our taxes. So I think that if we're going to we're going to generate revenue via tariffs instead of income tax, I'm very much okay with that. I think that you have to be very careful with tariffs because, of course, it is going to drive costs up, and a lot of folks are dependent on that low cost stuff. So you have to be very careful. You have to do tariffs. You have to do tariffs carefully. You can't just willy-nilly drop tariffs left and right. For example, there's other countries that will just say, okay, we're going to impose a carte blanche 200% tariff on everything that comes in. So everything that comes in is 200%, its normal price. So let's say it was supposed to be $1,000. Now it's $2,000 or $3,000, whatever. right? You got to be very careful with that. If you're doing it with everyday goods, like for example, like T-shirts and food, right? Stuff like that, that's more necessary. You're going to want to be very, very strategic with your tariffs, but you can do it. And I'm not necessarily against it, but saying we tariff everything, you might want to think about that for 2 seconds, because we do import a lot of shit. So maybe you want to tariff stuff strategically. Maybe you want to say, okay, we're tariffing these things that we can produce domestically. And maybe we don't want to produce things. Maybe there's some things we don't want to tariff. People mention aluminum tariffs. Maybe we don't want to tariff aluminum. Maybe we want to tariff the finished products. So, for example, maybe we want to tariff luxury cars, but maybe we don't want to tariff regular cars, right? I'm just throwing something out there, right? Or luxury goods, right? Or things that are above a certain threshold. We want to enact a larger tariff on. So you want to be pretty nuanced with tariffs. You want to think about it for a second, not just like rush out there and say, okay, everything gets up by 200%. Hold on, because we need to import the raw components, and you don't want to drop a tariff on raw components before they're processed. So, T-shirts, like tea food. Yeah. So let's go here. Let's rock and roll.
We had the COVID situation, and we had other problems, but we're going to do it, and we were doing it, and we made incredible trade deals. We did so much. I will pass what's called the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. That means that if China or any other country makes
Hold on. Trump just said he's going to give us TRT. Trump just said he's going to give us TRT. I love it. Also, this is good. Sliding Edge says, I love the arms Ukraine joke by Steve Barron's, who said, I'm okay with supplying Ukraine with arms. They just got to go to Afghanistan again. That's good. I like it. Approved. Let's go.
Pay a 100 or 200% tariff, which in many cases they do. We will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200%.
That's fine.
We don't do that.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
We've done it on individual cases where I was able to get it done.
I'm okay with that.
We're going to do it for everybody when they charge us. A lot of countries, not only China, but you have a lot of countries, they'll sell a motorbike. They'll put a tariff on Harley Davidsons going into India of 150%. And they sell what's called Indian motorbikes, lesser level. And we put a tariff on them of nothing. But we did a big thing in my administration. And you know what they want? They want Harley Davidson or whoever to go to India and build a plant. That way they say you have no tariffs. Well, we lose all those jobs. So we're gonna hit them very hard. Everybody, we're gonna hit them very hard. Reciprocal trade. They put it on us, we put it on them. One of two things is going to happen. We'll collect a lot of money, and that's fine, and so will they. Or they'll drop the tax, and we'll drop the tax. And it's simply, you don't have an accounting problem. And as tariffs go on foreign countries, they go up, taxes go on American workers and small businesses, and middle-class families will come way down as we do this, because all of this money that will be taken in, all of these jobs that will be taken in. When you do that, you're going to be opening up plants here and all over the United States.
Sorry. Okay. So those who don't get the joke, let me explain it real quick. TRT is short for testosterone replacement therapy. Like typically, and it's maligned in the U.S., but by some doctors. But a lot of folks, when you're older, when you're getting a little beta, you're getting a little soy, you're getting a little nippy. You want to get back going again. You want to get in the sack. You want to feel good. You go get TRT, right? You get your testosterone levels checked and you get them high. And a lot of people, by the way, even younger folks nowadays are having really low testosterone levels. In fact, we know that pretty much everybody in the Democratic Party has a floor level testosterone level. I mean, it's absolute zero. Beta Biden, right? Could use a little bit of the TRT. So when Trump used an acronym that was the same, the Trump replacement tax, that obviously to me is funny, because it's like Trump giving testosterone to all these soy boy leftists. It's so mwah, mwah, mwah. It's perfect. It's on the nose. Is this live for Canadian 5 says tariffs as a method of equalizing trade relationships to a more balanced equation are quite effective. I agree. This is what I agree with. This is live is just using them to level out, saying, okay, you have a tariff on us. We have a reciprocal tariff on you. Yeah, sure. And now if you're going to lift that tariff, it's fine. If you're going to not, then we're going to drop that on you. So go fuck yourself. I think that's fine. I see no problem with that as a strategy. Of course, I'm not an economist, right? But from a theory standpoint.
And that's what China did, and they still do. Didn't work as well with us because I put a very big tax on their cars, tremendous tariff, 50%, because everybody was moving to China to build their plants. And then they'd sell back into the U.S. and we wouldn't even charge them. So we changed it around a lot. But now we're going to finish it with with the big, I call it the big daddy, reciprocal trade. I will revoke China's most favored nations. So they get a favored nations. That means they get the whole world, because they see we're a developing nation. You know what? If you look at some of our cities and everything else, we're a developing nation too. Our cities are in Bedlam. We're more of a developing nation than they are. They don't have the problems that these Democrat mayors and governors have, where they've destroyed their states and they've destroyed their cities. I will revoke China.
And I'll say this real quick. As a person who is abroad, that is not just based, that is accurate. Some of these Democratic-run cities are worse. Guys, I'm in Bangkok right now. Like, I'm not in, like I'm across the world here. I've been to Cambodia. Like, honestly, I'd rather be in Phnom Penh than parts of Chicago and LA. Not even lying to you. I feel safer. I feel literally safer in areas that are developing or third world than in the U.S., particularly in Asia. Right? I'm like, nothing's gonna happen. I'm not gonna die. Right? I'm gonna be fine. Right? I'd rather be there than be over there. So like, that is such an accurate statement. What Trump is saying, and Trump has traveled. He's been around the world. He's actually gone places, unlike Joe Biden. So I think Trump knows exactly what he's talking about here. It's real estate.
China's most favored nation trade status, and we will impose stiff penalties on China and other trade abusers. We have tremendous trade abusers. They think we're so stupid. They look at this guy Biden. He doesn't know where the hell he is. He can't put two sentences together. He can't get off a stage. There's a stare right there.
It's true, though. I
never understand. He's always looking around. Where do I go?
Trump is such a good showman. He is such a consummate showman.
This guy it's so bad. Can you imagine President Xi of China? He's sharp. The press hates when I say he's sharp. I actually called him very smart one day. Oh, he called him smart, He runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist, and I call him smart. They say, President Trump called him smart. They want me to say he's a stupid man. They've been ripping us off for so many years. They're very smart. But can you imagine when they meet this guy, Biden? I mean, they see him. I see it. I talk to him. They say, we don't believe it. They think it's some kind of a game that I'm playing. It's like a chess game. They don't really believe this is happening. They say, what's going on here, Ashley? They say, what's going on here? There's some kind of a game being played. This can't be possible. The guy can't talk. He just gave a 1 minute and 15-second speech. That's a big speech for him. On what happened today in Israel, 1 minute and 15 seconds. It wasn't it wasn't Winston Churchill, let's put it that way. Never have so few done so much.
I will say one thing is that like Biden has barely done a speech over 15 minutes. If you actually look back and like time the Biden stuff, Biden like really doesn't get up and speak for more than like 10, 15 minutes, which is very fucking suspect. Very suspect.
It's not Winston Churchill. He was talking about the Spitfire pilots. You know that? The Spitfires, they knocked the German planes, which were bigger, better, stronger, but the Spitfires
debatable,
unbelievable by luck or whatever.
Debatable.
They could turn on a screw. These big, strong, powerful planes, they couldn't fight with them. But he said, never have so few done so much for so many. Biden doesn't talk that way. Biden doesn't talk that way. What a disgrace. What's happened to our country with inflation. All these things wouldn't have happened if the election weren't rigged. If the election weren't rigged, you wouldn't have Ukraine. You wouldn't have had any of it. You wouldn't have any of it. It's so sad. It's so sad what they've done. And there's plenty of evidence. It's all there. You know it. Not here. We don't worry about Iowa, but you take a look at those swing states. What they did in those swing states is a disaster. It's a disgrace. Under Crooked Joe, we now have a exploding trade deficit in agriculture. Did you know that? Meaning we are now importing more farm product than we're exporting. First time it's ever happened. It's not even believable, right? Are you a farmer? No, but you do. Yeah, that's a great. I'm not a farmer, but I don't need to be to understand what you just said. That is very good. Wow. Would you like to run for politics someday, huh? I think I have to give you an endorsement. Within hours of my inauguration, I will cancel every Biden policy that is abusing our farmers. And as your president, I ended the NAFTA disaster, the worst trade deal ever made by our country, and replaced it with the brand new USMCA. That's Mexico, Canada, the best trade deal they say ever made in our country. In fact, so good, it's so good. They want to cancel it. They're trying to get a deal with the United States to cancel it. You got ripped off by decades with NAFTA. Now we make a deal that is a one-sided deal, I will tell you that. Because we negotiated, I negotiated it, and it's great. You know, you've been ripped off by, I'll tell you, Canada was very tough to deal with, you know. Canada was tougher to deal with than China. Nobody would believe that, right? What they did with your milk product and all of your different products, it was like a one-sided deal for years. And now we have a deal that's great. And I said to him, listen, if you don't make this deal, then I'm not going to let you sell cars into the United States. Oh, well, we would love to make the deal if you'd like to. They were tough. They were nasty. So I say, don't do it. In total, I successfully negotiated and renegotiated more than 50 agreements, some of the worst deals I've ever seen. I used to sit back as they gave me a briefing on some of these bad deals with South Korea, with Japan, with a lot of different countries. I used to sit back, Brazil. I'd say, who the hell made these deals? I mean, it's almost like like they weren't even believable. Some of them, I go back to the heads of the country. I say, you know, your trade deal with us is very unfair. The guy, well, I've been waiting for you to come back and tell us that. They did. Nobody ever went to him. I also fought for Iowa ethanol like no president in history and issued a rule declaring that E15, you remember when I did
a little
this?
interesting.
That E15 would be made available all year round. Everyone said, "Oh, you can't."
I don't know what you guys think about ethanol. Like, what do you guys think about ethanol? Because I'm not sure whether ethanol is the boom that we think it is. I don't know if any of you guys have a an E15 or any sort of like ethanol hybrids. Yeah, I hear Nick saying it's fucking useless. So I think it may be a little bit overpuffed there. Yeah, it feels that ethanol is trash. Yeah, so that once again, I'm honest with Trump. Like I like Trump. I'm definitely look, it's top of the ticket and voting for Trump. But I call balls and strikes there with the ethanol. I'm like, let's pump the brakes a little bit with the ethanol. But don't pump the brakes with the super chats. Leprechaun Gold sends a $20 super sticker Shiba with a cup. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, for helping me do this on a regular basis and showing me that you guys like me streaming. Really seeing this is like okay, we're coming back to streaming. Shin, so a 200 Thai bot. I'm going to be able to go get lunch now. So did you move to Thailand? Welcome. Yes, my main base is now here in Thailand. I will be actually visiting a lot of other countries. So spending a lot of time in other countries. I was in Korea before this. I'll be going back to Korea a lot still. And I'll be in Japan. At the end of this week, I'll be in Japan for about 3 weeks. So I am spending significant amount of time in other places, but my main base is here in Thailand. It is friendly. The cost of living is great. And I love the food here. It's really amazing. And lots of good foreigners here. So let's continue.
Do that. Only 8 months. No, I gave it all year round. And even the equipment, the equipment, which they wanted to use the older equipment because it was tens of millions of dollars to change it. I said, what's the difference? He said, the older equipment is better. I had a real expert. He said, the older equipment's stronger, better. And I said, let's leave it then. Let's leave it. We want jobs. Ron DeSanctimonious is a raging opponent of Iowa ethanol. He spent his entire time in Congress angrily railing against ethanol and fighting to terminate the renewable fuel standard. That's things that are very good for you. Now he's on his way to changing his view. Remember this, he'll come out in favor of ethanol, but I don't even think he's going to be in second place much longer. In one state, he's in fifth place, 5. But they said, don't fight him, sir. Please don't fight him. even though he was totally disloyal, even though he did that. Don't fight him, sir. But I said, no, you have to fight. You have to fight to win sometimes, right? You have to fight to win. And when people are disloyal, when you get somebody elected and then they go and announce that they're essentially going to run, you fight him. He's a Republican, sir. I said, I don't care. I couldn't care less. And we hit him very hard. He's actually heading south pretty soon, I think. And you have some other people, but and I've heard. I don't want to speak out of turn. My people, my geniuses just told me back. Not my geniuses haven't predicted that much. My prediction rate is much better, but they say they're going to cancel all the debates after Miami. That's what I hear. Makes sense, right? You know,
wait, hold on, wait, what? There's supposed to be like another what? So what's going on here? I guess is this a fact that they're going to cancel the future Republican debates? I guess they're doing one more and then they're out. That would be, I mean, honestly, it's really pathetic. I don't know what you guys think in the chat. In fact, I'll do a little poll here in the chat. Like, did you guys actually watch, did you watch a full Republican debate? I want to know right now. This year. So I'll put 2023, right? So 2023 Republican debate. Just yes or no, simple poll. I just want to know whether you guys actually watched the full debates or not, because I actually think most people didn't, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong here. Opus, welcome as a new member. Appreciate you as member of the Replay Gang, joining up with all the base Chads and Stacy members. Brandon the Anime Guy says, top of the hour, gotta watch anime, got to pick one. Yes, Brandon will be on with me on Wednesday, your time, right? So Tuesday my time, Wednesday your time, to do our Weeb Wednesdays. He's going to help pick the 2 episodes that we'll watch on Rumble exclusively. So thank you very much, Brandon. Also, Anoop with the $50 super sticker. Appreciate that. Shiva Inu, Anoop coming through. Anoop and Leprechaun Gold doing it for me today. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for helping out the channel and really helping support me this month. It's been great to get good support from you guys. Sliding Edge says, when will you be sneaking into Hong Kong? Actually, I was thinking of doing that on the way to Japan, but I want to make it a dedicated trip, not just a long layover. So I will be doing that very soon, probably over winter time, so December, January. So think about that for Hong Kong. So that's one of the places I have not been yet. Let's rock and roll.
2 points. What's the purpose of this thing? They said, why isn't Trump debating? Trump should debate. He should debate. I said, wait a minute. I'm up 62 points. I'm going against a guy named, I call him Ada Hutchinson. Nasty guy. He's at 0.
Aiden's literally at 0. Nobody cares about
He's at 2 points. Sloppy Chris. Another one's at 1, 2. They're averaging like 3. And I'm almost at 7. I'm up by 6.
By the way, 69% of you have not watched, according to the poll with 171, 173 votes. 69, yes, 69 for 69, have not watched it at all, have not watched any of the Republican debates this year. So the vast majority.
60 points, more than 60 points. Why do you debate? These people, that's right, you want to elect a smart president, not a stupid president, right? And you know what I did last debate? I went and I had a big meeting in Michigan with the United Auto Workers of America and others. And I told them, I said, you guys are working on your hourly wage. That's not your problem. Your problem is the electric vehicle craziness that Biden is putting on everybody. Not one car will be made in America within 2 years.
True.
And you got to be careful because and today I read their new platform is they don't care about anything. They just don't want that to happen. And I want, if I want gasoline, if I feel like driving for cross country, I don't want to stop 37 times. I don't want to stop 37 times. It's crazy. So now the United Auto Workers, I see their biggest thing is the whole EV, they call it electric vehicle thing. And I hope I helped them. But I went there because their leadership should endorse me. They shouldn't. Now, they probably won't because they've endorsed Democrats for the last 290 years, about 200 years prior to cars coming out.
So Trump's making a very good point here. It's like a lot of these unions are clearly not working in the best interest of their industry. They're working in the best interest of their political masters, right? They've been captured. These unions have been captured by political parties, specifically the Democratic Party, even though even as they shrink their factories, they offshore them, they get rid of them, they make sure they're not produced in America. They're fine with that. They've allowed that to happen. The unions have allowed this to happen because they're not thinking about the best long-term interest. They're just thinking about what lines their pockets, right? They're running it like a mob, right? They're definitely running it like a mafia organization. And now, of course, some people have said, oh, well, there's one or two good union. Okay, fine. You can go find a unicorn. Okay, great. Hunting for a good union is like finding a unicorn, right? I'm sure they're out there, right? But I have not seen one. I have not personally interacted with one. And any way that any ones that I've negotiated with, it's been an absolute pain in the ass, particularly around COVID, and particularly involving the shutdowns, the starts, the restarts during COVID. It was an absolute nightmare dealing with the unions. My cat is Karen says, because we love you too, Karen. Appreciate you so much. WW Pro says, listening in while editing video, great analysis. Thank you so much, WW Pro, and appreciate you. And hopefully we can have you back for some based Disney analysis on the channel very soon. In fact, WW Pro, let's have you come on this week and just do a live stream shooting the gambit of Disney topics. I miss you, homie. I miss you, and I love you. And Valiant too, but he doesn't send me money, so I love you more because I'm a lawyer and we love money. 666 of you in the chat right now, guys. For that demonic number, please smash the like button or have your friends join so we go above 666 and we ascend to the heavens. Let's continue here.
Endorsed. No, they endorse. It's automatic. It's like you endorse the Democrat. But I said, how can they endorse? I told these to the workers because the workers are going to be with me 95%. But why should Sean Fain or whoever, I don't know the gentleman, they're trying to put these auto workers out of business. They've lost 40% of their car industry, and not with me, by the way. They were coming back. But over the last 20, 25 years, Mexico took 30% of our car industry away, our car manufacturing industry away. Why would they not endorse me? The Democrats allowed this to happen.
Mexico loves Trump.
But they're in bed with them.
And tacos.
I can't imagine what would happen. Not a pretty sight, is it? But they're in bed with them. But I think the auto workers are with me because I'm explaining to them. And if they vote for me, I'm now getting out of the farming stuff for a second, if you don't mind, because you got a lot of people watching on television.
And
if
on the
you
internet.
auto workers don't vote for
Trump.
me, you're not going to have an industry left because they're going to put you out. And if you do, we will double up on our car manufacturing. We're going to double up because we'll tariff cars coming in if they're looking to compete with us, just like we did with Mexico. We said we want 28,000 soldiers, or we're going to put tariffs on the cars that you stole. I mean, they stole 30%, 32 to be exact, of our car industry, of our car manufacturing industry over a couple of decades. Biden's insane. Electric vehicle mandates will totally decimate gas-powered cars. And if it happens,
it's not going to happen.
Iowa ethanol is dead. It's dead. You're not going to be needing ethanol. You're not going to be needing gasoline.
Here's the one thing that nobody talks about, which I think is insane. Do you think that all these countries around the world, like these developing and developed countries, like these countries that are second world, third world countries, do you think they're suddenly going to develop an electrical infrastructure? How crazy is it to think that all of a sudden the entire world is going to have EVs? They're going to have EVs in Somalia? Yeah, no. That's not happening, right? It's just literally not happening. So obviously there's going to be a massive market period for this. And they're just going to look at the economics of it and say, no, we're not doing that. That's insanity. It's absolute insanity. Also, it's dangerous. Those electrical charging stations are like mini nuclear bombs just waiting to go off. They're extraordinarily dangerous. So it's something that, look, to me, just blows my mind when people think, oh yeah, by 2030, we're all going to be EVs. Absolutely not. Not happening. Period.
And you're going to never take a trip that's more than 12 minutes from your house. It's not that. You know what else are going to die? Hotels are going to die. But the greatest business there is, in fact, I may not run for president. I may drop out to go into this business. No, I'm sorry. You know what the business is? I'll tell you why, because it's
it's so funny.
The car tow truck business. I'm going to open up a massive, all over the country, tow trucks so that when they run out of their energy, I'll tow those suckers right back home. All right. So if you see me drop out, that could be the only reason I drop out, right? When I'm back in the White House, I will repeal Biden's ethanol crushing electric vehicle mandates on day one. It'll be one day. And you know, I want you to have an electric car, and I want you to have a gasoline car, and I want you to have a combination hybrid, and I want you to do all those things.
If you want
But
to.
you can't have trucks where the truck is not enough. It carries a load. The entire load's going to be a battery, and it doesn't go far enough. And I was telling the other group, we just spoke in front of it.
I'm really with Trump here in the terms of, look, I'm for you being able to choose whatever you want to have. I'm against it being mandated. So I am for, if you want to be, you know, if you want to have your electric fucking go-kart, whatever you're going to have, that's fine. It's good for you. You go get it, but don't make me buy that. Let me allow me to buy whatever I want as long as it works. Shit, if I want to rock out with a horse, if I want to ride my horse down the Old Town Road, I can do that, right? That is totally possible.
A great group of people, much better than you people. I'm only kidding. But we just spoke. Don't worry, same state, same effort. But we just spoke, and I told them, I said, you know, the trucks, you take a Peterbilt or one of the great trucks, they can go up to 2,000 miles on a large tank of diesel fuel, but not large like a battery, which has to be about 9 times larger. And a truck will go 300 miles. So one goes 2,000 miles, one goes 300 miles. What kind of stuff is that? You have to stop 6 times as opposed to none? So, and they're forcing trucks to now go all electric. You talk about a supply chain problem. Wait till you see this sucker. And you know what? I can say that 100 different times. You can go in and say it to the people in the White House. They'll say, thank you very much, and they won't do a thing about it. They are destroying this country. It's so crazy. They had one of the biggest truckers in the world. They got many hundreds and hundreds of big, beautiful, most gorgeous trucks. He said, you know, all my life,
big into trucks. I feel like Trump, like as a kid, he had like the giant truck. You know, like he had the giant like monster truck, and he's like vroom 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 vroom. Like, and actually that makes him. By the way, it makes him like a real person. That makes him like kind of identifiable. But I feel like Trump is like really loving trucks here. Like actually loves trucks. By the way, sorry, I was dying because Danielle made a joke about me riding AOC as the horse down the road, which just killed me. Samuel Williams, the founding father, says, I have Tesla as my everyday driver, but if I need to go far, I'm taking my Chevy Silverado. Hey, that's fine. Look, and I support your ability to do that. If you want to have a Tesla, that's fine. But just understand, like, the Tesla has limitations, right? And if you need to have a giant, like, load, right? You need to take a giant load. You need something with a little bit more horsepower and something that doesn't have a massive battery. Like, I think saw Planet Funtime mention this. Replacement batteries are half the car's value. Well, at that point, if it's half the value of the car, you're just going to replace the car, right? You're just going to say, okay, well, I'm getting, and isn't that more wasteful? Yes, it's more wasteful. It's extraordinarily more wasteful. And what about the cobalt? Have we not talked about where we're getting the cobalt from? Oh, we're going to get clean cobalt. Yeah, that does not exist. That does not exist. As of 2023, there's no place for them to get clean cobalt. So get the fuck out of there with that. And Geku says, I find it funny that they have to go 100% EV. Forget every lesson from history about a balance between the old and the new, hybridization, all or nothing. All or nothing. And that's what these states have passed. California, other places, they're trying to push all or nothing, 100% EV. And that's just not the way to go. It's, hey, let the market decide. Let people choose to go EV, because I think that there's enough people that will go EV. And when the economy's built out and it makes sense, okay, yeah, sure, people will buy there, but you have to build it out, right? You have to build it out organically. And look, you don't see people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Like Elon Musk is not pushing for it to be forced EV, right? Selman Williams says, I bought the Tesla because it's fast and fun. Yeah, and there's advantages there. I think the application of like stopping power, like the instantaneous application, there's some thought behind that, and the acceleration, right? I think it's still got the top speed record, right? Has a Tesla still got the top speed record? Is that true? I think so, right? But it also has limitations like distance, like load capacity.
Some trucks would buy, and I have now just about the biggest company, I guess. He said, every year they got better. They got better. They got stronger. They got more powerful. They were more beautiful. They just got better and better.
So beautiful.
If this happens, we will be going back 60 years if this happens. There's nothing they can do about it. Nothing they can do about it. I said, have you spoken to the White House? They couldn't care less. That's why they're doing all the things in California with the California deal. It's California on any summer afternoon is in a blackout. They're in a total blackout.
Which is so
now
true.
They want to add millions of cars to the grid. You know, it's insane. It's just crazy. It doesn't work. It's all about something. No, I think it's all about destroying our country, actually, because nobody can figure. That's the only thing I can't figure out. Why do they want to have open borders with millions of people pouring in? People coming from jails, prisons, people coming from mental institutions and insane asylums, you know? My people say, please, sir, don't mention the words insane asylum. Why? Because that's a vicious thing.
Oh, no.
That's Silence of the Lamb. You know what that is? Has anybody seen Silence?
Why are we talking about Silence of the Lamb?
Hannibal Lecter. How great an actor was he? You know why I like him? Because he said...
This is stream of conscious Trump. This is like peak stream of conscious. It's like, how the hell do we get into Silence of the Lambs? Like, how do we get there? Please tell me. I'm not really sure how we got Silence of the Lambs, but now we're in Hello Clarice territory. Ted Park says, I live in a cold environment, so even if an electric vehicle worked perfectly, it wouldn't be suitable for me. Yeah, and I know that's true for a lot of people who live in climates that are freezing. You're in northern Canada, you're out, right? You're 100% out. You're in California, so, you know, I see, or sorry, Canada. Sorry, there's no California dollars yet, so we break them off as a separate country. But yeah, Canada. If you're in northern Canada, you're in like Prince George, Prince Rupert, you're up there, like that's not going to work for you, right? Not at all.
On television, on one of the, I love Donald Trump, so I love him. I love him. He said that a long time ago, and once he said that, he was in my camp. I was in his camp. Yeah, I don't care if he was the worst actor. I'd say he was great to me. And no, he was great. I'll tell you, he was incredible. But that's the insane asylum stuff. That's
sorry, this one cracks me up. Samuel Williams, the founding father, says, everyone's saying EVs don't work in the cold. I live in South Florida. I don't know what cold is, so suck it. Very, very true. Hey, listen, I'm a Miami boy, but I spent 3 winters in Seoul, South Korea, and that is my definition of cold. That was like Siberian cold for 3 years. I'm done. I don't need any more for my life. I'm very happy with the warmer weather down here in Southeast Asia.
a step beyond, but mental institutions, insane asylums, jails, prisons, and terrorists, they're pouring in to our country. And you go over to South America, and it's not South America, it's all over Africa. They're allowing all of their prisoners, and they're transporting them into the United States. We're like a dumping ground. And they're taking them from 129 countries, we think. They don't have any idea. You know, America's, they have no idea what's happening. I had the greatest guys. I had the safest border in the history of our country, and now we have the unsafest border in the history of the world, because there's never been a country like this. But it's a horrible thing that's happening and very dangerous. And you know, these people are very aggressive people. They drink, they have drugs, a lot of things happening.
They drink.
And they're very, very aggressive. I heard a woman talking, a great woman, she lost her son.
Guys, these people are very bad because they drink. They're very horrible people because they drink. So in spirit of that, let's do this here because we have 705. So I just want to say to you guys, hey, cheers to all these dangerous people out there. All you dangerous people, all you people out there, cheers to you. Also, cheers to Anna P for $9.99. It said, finally caught a live stream. Hope I'm not hopping on too late. It is never too late, baby. Cheers to all of you. Welcome. Thank you for making the Legal Mindset the best legal channel out there. Cheers. Nothing like whiskey as your first meal of the day. Let's continue here.
In New York, lost her son horribly, actually. And she's become somewhat of a spokesman, running for Congress now. Good, very good person. And she said, they're infiltrating my neighborhood, and they're so aggressive. They're so strong. They're so vicious. They're so violent. And they drink, and they take drugs. Other than that, they're wonderful people, okay? No, this country, I mean, our country can't, no country can sustain this. Under a Trump administration, gasoline-fired engines will be allowed, but child sexual mutilation will not be allowed.
Oh shit! He said it. He said it. See, this is the big. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I watch Trump, and it's been STE, small Trump energy. This is BTE. This is big Trump energy. This is where you need to go with that. That's base. That's a mic drop. This is the point you need to be pushing right there. This is what I want to hear more of. Like, go there, brother, go there. So I am very happy about that. Say it loud, say it proud, stay the fuck away from the kids. Okay.
Okay.
Love it. That I love.
Crazy. Whoever thought we'd be saying that?
Nobody.
Who thought that you'd have some guy up here?
It's a joke.
10 years ago, who would think you'd have somebody up saying, we will not allow child sexual mutilation? This is the craziest thing. They don't even tell you about what they're going to do to your kids.
It is insane.
This is really communism, fascism.
Together. In an
These are
orgy.
Marxists. These are sick people. But who would think that?
Yes.
Who would think that they would say,
top of the game, man. He's doing
one of
good
the favorite phrases, I will not allow men to play in women's sports. Who would think that?
So crazy.
Who would think
crazy
that?
idea. Controversial idea.
Weightlifter, right? Guy lifted 150 pounds more than a woman. It's so demeaning. You know, it's so demeaning to women. The swimming, you see the records? You know, a record that stood for 20 years is broken by 4 hours or something. No, it's just crazy what's going on.
Well, no, it's broken,
no wonder
it's broken immediately. That's what Zuby did. Zuby did that. Zuby literally was like, okay, England, I'm a woman, picks up the weight, does the lift, right? Breaks the world record, puts it down. Okay, I'm a guy again, right? That's all it takes. That's the standard in California, in the crazy UK, and all these other countries that are going woke and states going woke. Okay, I'm a woman. Okay, give this to me, break the record. It is a joke. The best women's players, the best women athletes, they don't even qualify for the top slots in men's sports. Sorry, hand down, period. That's it. Yeah, someone will say, oh, well, what about long distance swimming? Okay, maybe there's like one sport that they can come close, right? But even there, across the board, we're talking about things that involve strength, speed. Yeah, men are going to dominate. No fucking shit. It's obvious. This is something that's obvious. It's like everybody knows this, right? Sliding Edge says, here in California, heavy water emissions, such zero emission vehicles were pushed hard during lockdown. Toyota had a government subsidy that over the 15K water car, you got 15K fuel card over the next 3 years. By the way, San Jose only has 2 fill-ups 63 miles away. Oof. That's the whole thing. That's why they have to give you those incentives, because nobody's buying these things without the incentives. Unless they're government subsidized, they're not efficient. They're like a really badly run railway, right? They don't work. They're not efficient. They need to be subsidized. Anna P for $19.99 says, legally speaking, how can doctors begin transitioning without parental consent if the damn kid can't even get a tattoo before they turn 18? I don't know. I just poured out my drink. Cheers from LA. Hey, cheers, Anna. Cheers. Well, I'll do another one with you guys. Cheers to that. So I'll explain this to you. I'll take a drink and explain this to you. So legally speaking, right? Legally speaking. So what they can do. Now, I am not advocating for this. This is very wrong. I don't advocate for this. I'm just explaining, okay? So just listen. This is my legal explanation that I do not agree with. So you can set a different age of consent. So you could say, for example, there's many ways to do this, right? And there's many ways the crazy liberal states are going to try to do this. And we're going to have to attack all of these in court and shut all of these down. But for example, they could change the age of consent for transitioning a child to 12 or 10 or 8. Just like they set a different age of consent for tobacco or cigarettes or alcohol or anything else. They can say, oh yeah, you can transition at age 2. It's a fundamental right. You get to transition when you're a toddler, right? You get to say that yourself. That age of consent, we're specifically changing that. Also, they can say, oh, well, your doctor is going to give this to you as necessary treatment. So regardless of what your parents say, your doctor says this is necessary treatment. Now, we've already had an expose of those doctors that say they write that they don't even check. They just write them. If the kid asks for it, they just write them, they just tell them, yep, we approve you to do it. They don't even confirm it. We've seen that. We've seen that exposed with these doctors. So this is where we're going. We're going with, oh yeah, as long as their doctor says okay, it doesn't matter if what the parents say, because it's life-saving. Because all of this data they have that they say, oh, well, trans people commit suicide, so this is preventing them from committing suicide, because if they don't get this, they'll commit suicide. When actually the truth is, if they do it, they're at a greater risk of suicide. But we don't talk about that, right? We don't talk about that. Sliding Gasoline says it's hard to beat gasoline. Yes. By the way, guys, please make sure you smash the like button on this. It's really what I ask because, frankly, we're already demonetized. So YouTube has already demonetized us from, made us go into the naughty zone because we're talking about these topics because we have Big Papa Trump here. So make sure to smash the like button right now. We've got 700 of you in here, 400 likes. Let's get to 500 likes because that really helps me out in the algorithm, despite the fact that we're not fully monetized anymore. So I really appreciate that. And thank you guys for your support. Ted Park for Canadian 10 says, I'm jealous because I'm out of quality whiskey. I hope this can help refresh your supply. I must subside on Costco vodka for now. Hope this helps. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go get some new ones. I've been rocking this monkey shoulder for a while, so I got to diversify it a little bit. I'm working on it. I drink slowly, but I do drink. I do drink a lot. So do appreciate that. And always love a good whiskey and always love drinking with you guys and always love the naughty zone, as mentioned by Legally Dirty Blonde Podcast. Let's continue here.
The far left lunatics are getting desperate to stop our movement because they know this is the movement they can't beat. They'll stop at any means. They'll use law enforcement. They actually now have to revert to law enforcement. As you know, crooked Joe Biden and his radical left thugs have weaponized law enforcement to arrest their leading political opponent, me. Thank you all very much.
Very true. That's exactly what they've done here. That's 100% what they've done here. Real quick, though, let me stop this for 2 seconds because I want to show some of the other rants on Rumble, as well as the tips from other places. So let me just show these real quick, and then we'll get back to the regularly scheduled program here. So here we go. I'll just show this. So here we got from Lele on Rumble here. Shout out to my Rumble gangsters. Lele says for 20, this time I started to change my mind on Trump was when I started listening to his speech against abortion in his first State of the Union address. I respect him for it. Keep up with your good work, Andrew. Thank you so much, Lele. Appreciate that over there. And absolutely, Trump has been very, very good about changing his position. I don't mind that he's changed his position on that. Then on locals, we have two here. Squid for $10 says Trump's claim with trucks is a little bit misleading. The only trucks getting 2,000 miles out of one tank are the ones with 250 plus gallon capacity tanks. Most trucks are getting 800 to 1,000 miles depending on weight and fuel mileage. Most trucks have a 160 gallon capacity tank or smaller so they can haul more weight in the trailers. Clearly, Squid knows about trucking. In fact, Squid, I think you're a trucker, right, Squid? Confirm that in the locals for me. And Ben SC says for $1, also, if parents don't affirm kids, they may be removed from their care. Yes. Yes, that is very much true. So thank you guys for your support on Rumble and on locals. Senpai notices you. Don't think that because I maybe haven't answered your chat right away that I haven't noticed you. I'm waiting for a strategic time to get it going here. So just understand that your boy Legal Mindset, he notices you. Also here, Bursa Beauty member chat says, leave the kids alone. No alcohol or tobacco until 21. Can't get body piercings until 18 without parental consent. Can't get tattoos until 18. But somehow kids can decide to change their genetic makeup. Yes, they can decide that because kids are adults now. And we believe kids on their gender and they're having a life-changing surgery. That's okay. But smoking is not, or drinking is not, or tattoos are not. You can't get a piercing, but you can cut off your penis. Crazy. Florence says, what's good, brew? I missed a couple of streams due to work, but it's nice to make a stream again. Good to see you, Florence. Good to see you up here in the chat. Based as always. Anna P says, what happens if the October surprise in 2024 is them removing Trump from the ballot in certain states? Tim Pool talks about this a lot. I don't know if it makes sense. So it can be fought legally. Here's the thing. Here's what happens, and here's how civil war happens, or rather, not civil war, but breakdown, right? So here's what happens. If the liberal states remove Trump from the ballot, you better believe that places like Texas and Florida, the conservative states, are going to remove Joe Biden from the ballot. So I think the answer is if they remove Trump, there's equal reason to remove Joe Biden. For what's going on with Hunter Biden, for what's going on with the impeachment hearings, there's equal reason to remove Biden. So if they do that, remove Biden from the ballot, then fuck you. Then we're in a national breakdown, right? You want to go there? You want to go there? Because we can go there. I mean, there's equal reason to do that. So that will be the real happening. That will be the real consequence. Now, that's not even a necessarily legal. That's just a practical solution. Crazy situation, but hey, it can happen. It can definitely happen. By the way, I love the detailed questions, Anna. So keep them coming. It's all right. I'm fine with it. I'm into it.
This is high-level election interference, and it's happening for a single reason, because I'm the only candidate that they do not want to run against. I'm the only one that shows. It's hard to believe that, because frankly, the Republican candidates, I could take almost all of them. I mean, some of them you can really have, but almost all of them are better than Biden. I'm the only one that's polling way above Biden. We beat him. Washington Post the other day came out 11 up. They actually said 9, then they had to change it to 10, and then they actually had to change it. It's the only time. So they spend $1 million on this big Washington Post, ABC. ABC is one of the worst, by the way. I got to tell you, one of the nastiest. They always come up with stuff. They're very nasty people. They pretend like they're nice, and then they hit you with zingers all the time. But ABC is bad news. ABC fake news, I call it. It's all fake news. Deface the Nation. Do you watch Deface the Nation? Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump on Face the Nation. Right now I go, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump on Deface the Nation. And Meet the Press has been changed now. They have a new anchor. We interviewed with her a couple of weeks ago, Kristen Welker. She was so nice until she started interviewing me. Then she got a little bit hyper, but she was good. In the Marquette poll, voters prefer Trump over Biden by 24 points. I didn't hear that one. 24 points on the economy. 24 points on border security, and 23 points on inflation, and 19 points on creating jobs, and 34 points on the border.
Well, that's no debate. I mean, like, Trump is a clear, like, honestly, like, Trump, like the wall right now sounds like a damn good idea. When you're seeing these CBP people letting people over, yeah, the wall sounds all right. I would have rather that 50 billion instead of going to Ukraine, go for the wall, right? And like, as much as people made memes about the wall and so stuff, the 50 billion bucks, where would I rather spend it? There, right there. So yeah, Biden is absolutely not even in the contention when it comes to situations at the border. He's allowing it, he's permitting it. People are coming in because it's Biden. Patrick K. Greg for 2 says, here you go, brother. Loving the stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Patrick K. Greg. Stay based out there. Stay based. Scorpion Black Dragon says, I predict Biden's administration targets video games like Call of Duty, Escape from Tarkov, and Starfield because they have firearm insurrection education. They might allow Starfield to pass because it has pronouns, but Escape from Tarkov and Call of Duty, they're problematic. Now, Call of Duty did allow Nicki Minaj in as an operator skin, so maybe that hits their diversity quota. I'm not sure. We'll have to check with the DEI to see if that hits the quota. You know, allowing Nikki.
Because remember, the Democrats start off with
Appreciate
like
y'all.
40. You know,
Appreciate your support.
A friend of mine said, I said, yeah, I'm up 10 or 11 points. And in some cases, I'm up 2 or 3, but we're up. And he's a very
If
smart
it's up,
guy.
it's
said,
up,
how can
baby.
you only be up 2 points on that guy? I said, because they start off with a big advantage. They have certain groups. They have certain groups that vote for him. By the way, a lot of groups, if you look at African-American, they're at my level, higher than anybody's ever had before. Hispanic American, we are going to probably win Hispanic American. By the way, if that happens, this election is over. You know, the biggest thing on the election, because they're going to cheat, they're going to try like hell to cheat. The single biggest thing on the election is we got to swamp them. Because, you know, there's a level at which, as bad as they are, they're crooked as you can be, but there's a level at which they can't win. We got to win and we got to swamp them. If we swamp them, we don't have to worry about it. But we also have a lot of good lawyers and a lot of other people looking, but because they use COVID. But
well, they got to be careful there because like half the lawyers are under indictment. See, the biggest shame is the attack on Trump's lawyers, right? And the fact the ABA did not stand for that, the fact the ABA did not hold that line with the lawyers and protect the lawyers is disgusting, and it is vile.
If you
Protect
swamp
Trump's
them, that solves a lot of problems. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election of 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024. Not going to allow it. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. Because, thank you very much, I am being indicted for you. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
The people's indictment. It's the people's
It's always
indictment.
a little tough. I call Ivanka. Hello, Ivanka. Anybody ever hear of Ivanka? Nice person. Beautiful, nice person. Hello, Ivanka. Listen, your daddy's going to be indicted today at 6 o'clock. I didn't want you to see it in the news. I didn't want you to. I go back, I see our great First Lady. I say, First Lady. I go First Lady. Just kidding. They'll say now, headline. He calls her First Lady. What kind of a relationship is that? But she's great. She's so popular.
That's
People
actually a good one. If you call, like, honestly, if you call your girl the First Lady, she should be getting pretty weak in the knees. I'm just saying. You call your girl the First Lady, and you know, I think that works for a lot of ladies. Real quick here, there's a $1 tip from C3 Metal on Locals. Said kids can get chopped up, but doctors can deny me a tubal. Yes.
The style, the beauty, the style. You're not allowed to talk about beauty, so let's leave that out. If you say beauty, you immediately lose the election. But the style, the beauty, the whole package. But they love her. I say, darling, today at 5 o'clock, I'll be indicted. And she actually said, again? That's pretty cool, right? Again? How many times? Now I'm the only one that goes up in the polls every time I get indicted. You know, Alphonse Capone. Did anybody ever hear of Al Capone, the great gangster? He would kill you if he didn't like you at dinner. He would just, you'd be dead. You're gone. And he only got indicted once. Okay? I've been indicted 4 times. I think I have a record for most indictments quickly. Considering I never had a problem in my whole life, it's like a record. Most indictments within a 15-minute period. All phony deals, too. How about the one in Georgia? How about that phony one? How about the one in New York? She values Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, and she convinces a judge. Now, you don't know what
This is great, guys. So seriously, this is the one I did an episode on. Go back and check my episode on the valuation. This is ridiculous. As a Florida person who did commercial real estate in Florida, I've also dealt with high net worth property, high net worth sales. So like things like Mar-a-Lago size. Yeah, that valuation in Florida is ridiculous. I can sell a drop of my, I could take a dump on a corner lot in that area of Florida and sell it for more than 18 million. Like that was a ridiculous valuation. That was absolutely absurd on any sort of basis for real estate. She literally just made up a number and was like, yeah, I think it's that, without even looking around at all the other properties around. It's absolutely nuts. Hell Pike says, trucker here. Trump is right about diesel versus electric. The current battery technology doesn't have enough energy density. I can move my truck around 1,800 miles on 200 gallons that the truck holds. I think what Squid was saying, and let me go back here, is saying like it was just like a mischaracterization. So I think he's saying that the only trucks with, okay. So no, he's saying that, okay. So there's a little bit of debate here on how far you can go with diesel fuel, right? So you're saying you can go 1,800 miles on a 200-gallon tank. Okay, well, I'll believe you there, right? Lots of truckers in the chat. And by the way, a shout out to all you base truckers out there going around America, working hard for the country. Appreciate all of you because you guys are the lifeblood. Like this country does not run without the U.S. does not run without truckers. I mean, I'm in Asia, but Asia doesn't run without truckers either. There's truckers here too. Sliding Edge says Newsom floated the idea of removing Trump from the general ballot. Really disliking my governor. If I was Canadian, I'd feel I'm about to say I'm sorry. Another for his bag of bad ideas. Yeah, that's a massive bad idea. And by the way, if that happens, you will definitely see conservative states, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Florida. You're going to see, Texas. All these states are going to turn around and they will take Biden off the ballot. I guarantee that'll happen. If they take Trump off, the leading Republican candidate off the ballot, there is nothing in the Constitution that says that this person cannot run for president. You can run for president from jail. There is nothing about it that would stop that. Therefore, Trump could be in a jail cell running for president. There's nothing in the Constitution against him wanting and winning. Nothing. Period. End of story. Let's continue.
Our arguments, but you sort of do. So some people say it's worth 100 times that number. She values it at $18 million.
Ridiculous.
And I said, there's something wrong here. And everybody said that. And it's probably could be $1 billion, $1.5 billion, could be more than that. So it could be 100 times that amount. These are crooked people. This is election interference. These are very dishonest people. And she has a judge who's a radical left judge, and and I don't get a jury. So even if I had a tough jury, I'd win. But I'm not allowed to have a jury. Nothing to do with checking a box. You know what that did? Or said, oh, the lawyer. No, you can't check a box. There's no box to check. They did it under a Consumer Frauds Act. Can you believe this? Where I did everything right, built this great company, and now they find out that the company's worth much more than the financial statement. And they found out I have what's called a disclaimer clause. It's a little complicated, but not too complicated. There was no fraud. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they've been totally discredited. And it's a disgrace that a thing like that can go on. It's election interference. Never forget, our enemies want to stop us because we are the only ones who can stop them. We're the only ones. And if we don't win this election, our country is finished. I hate to tell you. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. I will not let it happen.
By the way, I'm with Trump there. Like, I don't think the world can survive 4 more years of Biden or whatever comes after, right? Kamala or whatever else it is, right? Or they try to sub in Newsom some weird way. I don't think the world can take that. I am extremely concerned about 4 more years of that. I mean, I don't say that hyperbolically. I don't say that easily, but I am absolutely genuinely concerned that would be like, that would be it. Not to be hyperbolic.
They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, and this is so true, they're not after me, they're after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way. I'm standing in their way. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun up here, standing in their way. But this is not just a campaign. This is a movement. There's never been anything like this in history. I tell about Pat Buchanan, who was a great guy, but he came in, I believe, second in New Hampshire, and he made a life because he did so much better than anyone. He made a life out of coming and saying, we came in first in every state. Think of it. We came in first in every state.
We're bragging about
and
second.
The islands. The islands count too. And it's an incredible thing. The level, so we ran twice, we won twice. The level of enthusiasm now blows 16 and blows 20 away. Because now you're fighting for your lives. You're really fighting for your lives in a true sense. Together, we created the most secure border in U.S. history and built nearly 500 miles of border wall. We actually built 561, as I understand it.
Once again, looking much better now in retrospect. Anna P. says, not just conservative states, there's plenty of conservatives in California with guns and guts to stand up to that form of tyranny. So hope it doesn't get and I really truly hope it does not get to that level, genuinely. I do hope everything has a peaceful resolution, at least a diplomatic or a political resolution. That is my genuine hope. However, the Second Amendment's there for a reason. Richie says, at least we still have the Constitution. Yes, and that is the best thing. The thing that America has is a Constitution, and for now, that is at least being upheld in certain areas. There's certain areas where it's being violated massively. Your freedom of speech, you are being censored to hell. Our Second Amendment rights are being infringed upon by these red flag laws, by other laws that strip your guns away for a myriad of reasons, right? So there's a lot of infringements upon your rights, but we still at least have that protection. A lot of other places, look at Australia, the UK, that don't have those. And I feel for you. Canada, you don't really have an American-style constitution. And I see it. It kind of shows. Kind of shows. It's continuing.
How about sloppy Chris Christie says he only built 50 miles of border wall? Because if there's a board laying on the ground from 50 years ago that's rotted and we put up this gorgeous, big, brand new thing, they say, oh, well, that's a renovation. And there are boards all over the place, you know, just rotting in the sand. But what a loser he is, by the way. He suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. Worse, I think maybe worse than any Democrat. What do you think of the economy? I don't like Donald Trump. It's Trump derangement syndrome, Ashley.
It's very true, by the way. That's the number one thing is Trump derangement syndrome. All of them have it. By the way, shout out to Legal Eagle, the number one lawyer with Trump derangement syndrome. Leonard French is number two. He's very close. But like Legal Eagle, Leonard French, yeah, definitely TDS, calling him out, doing it here. Drama on the Legal Mindset, calling out the shyster TDS lawyers.
We completely finished our original plan and then added even more wall. We built much more. We added much more. It would have gone up within 3 weeks. It was all there. You see it there. And then I hear they're selling it now for 5 cents on the dollar, 5 cents. It's all steel, a very special steel, concrete, and then rebar inside. Inside those bars are concrete and then rebar, very hardened steel. I wanted to use concrete plank. I'm a really good builder. That was what I did the best. Maybe I still probably do that better than politics, come to think of it. But I'm good at it. And you know, no. So that's what I wanted. And they said, no, sir, it has to be steel. And you have to be able to see through it. You have to be able to see people coming with the drugs and everything else. I understood. And I gave them exactly what they want. Even the panel on top, it's called an anti-climb panel. You know this? I don't love it. Architecturally, I don't love it, but it works. You know, we had mountain climbers and we had drug dealers. We have guys that can put 60, 70 pounds on their back and climb up these things like a guy like that. See that handsome guy? Are you with him? This kid
out a guy
is so good looking.
Dealer.
Look at him.
Calling him out as a drug dealer. You're like, you look like a drug dealer, sir.
You are a handsome little devil. So, but they have guys and they climb up a wall with drugs in their back. And we had all the best guys. Half of them came out of prisons, you know, would say, come on with us. We want to. And they couldn't get by the anti-climb panel. So, you know, it's very important. I just want to let you know why, because I loved it without that panel, but it really is very effective. Anti-climb panel. But we did it, and we built the wall at the rate of 1 mile every 24 hours. And we would have had the whole thing finished. We built, I said I was going to build 400 miles. I built 561 miles, and we would have had another 200. I added 200 at the end.
But, yeah.
And all the panels were there. Those are the ones that you see rotting in the sand. And those are the ones you see, they want to sell them. But then the other day, Biden goes out and, you know, if he would have gone to the beach and just left everything alone, if he left our oil alone, he's got a consultant, you know, these are all consultants. He's got a consultant that thinks he's very good looking in a bathing suit. This consultant thinks it's a good look for him to be at a beach at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't think that looks too good, Matt, right? You know, we want somebody that works a little bit like I worked hard. But, you know, we want a working president. Also, when you can't get your feet out of the sand and you can't lift, you know, those chairs are a miracle because they're fairly large and you can lift them like this, right? And he could barely lift them. Just like,
that was bad.
This is not a good look. But if he would have gone to the beach and left the border alone and left inflation alone and left the economy alone, all that, he would have gone down as a great president instead of the worst president in the history of our country. Now the fake news is actually trying to give Crooked Joe credit for announcing they will build 20 miles of wall. 20 miles. He'll get more credit if he ever gets it done, which I doubt. Did you see the wall? It's like a portable, terrible looking wall. I think I could climb over the wall that they're looking to build with a little help. I think I could climb over it. Terrible. It's 20 miles long. If he gets it done, they'll say he did a better job than Trump. because that's the way it is, because the fake news are a big part. There are a lot of people back there.
Joe Biden, the Great Wall president. Yeah. That's a good one. So Sliding Edge says, how do people feel about Tulsi being the VP for either RFK or Donald J. Trump? Thoughts? I mean, Kamala is trash for VP alone, commander-in-chief. So I actually thought that RFK would eventually just go with, maybe RFK would try to partner up with Trump, but I think he's too much of a Democrat to do that. I think for Trump, I think Tulsi is a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's my thought, that Tulsi is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I think that she is trying to put herself in that position, but I think that if you look at most of her policies, and frankly, that's my reservations with RFK too. I mean, they're a standard Democrat with a lot of the failed Democratic policies, but for one or two exceptional variations, right? So they've got one or two things that they're on the right side of, right, that they're deviating with, but everything else is standard Democratic BS. So I'm not a huge fan of either Tulsi or RFK, frankly, as VP for Trump. I think most likely someone mentioned Kristi Noem, that's a possibility, McGregor, or Vivek. I think Vivek, is positioning himself that way, and we'll see whether Trump goes for it. I could see Trump buying into the Vivek train. I could see that happening. So we'll see. And I know there's a lot of split opinion on Vivek. A lot of people think he's a scammer. A lot of people don't like him. Some people like him. So, depends. It's what you guys think. Liam John Smith says, imagine X current Democratic sway without Musk. Yeah, that would be huge. It would be, without Elon Musk at the helm, it would be a liberal machine cranking out. And right now, there's a reason why they are attacking X, because it's the only place getting out raw information that's unfiltered by the mainstream media, that hasn't put their little tramp stamp of misinformation, i.e. them spinning it into misinformation on it. So yeah, they're definitely coming after X. Let's go here.
A lot of cameras. I see those lights going. Anytime I'm ready to talk about like CNN, they know it. They've got very good at this. I watch that red light go off like in 2 seconds. It's off. The light goes off. But they're using funds, and he's saying that he was legally required to spend. He had to do it. He had no choice. He had to do it. But all the other things he didn't have to do, where he destroyed our country. So it's just one of those things. He's doing it, he said, because he's afraid of being impeached. I said, what's so bad about impeachment? I got impeached twice, and my poll numbers went up. The difference is he should be impeached. He's bad. He's bad. I got impeached over a phone call, right? I got impeached over a phone call, which turned out to be perfect. It was perfect. I called it. I called how crooked everything was.
What about poll for Trump's VP pick, by the way, if you guys want to vote on that in the chat? Who's going to be the VP pick? Either Tulsi, Vivek, Noem, or other. So you guys can vote on that.
Phone call to congratulate a brand new president at that point, Zelensky, nice guy, to congratulate him on winning his thing. I got impeached for that. And here's a guy steals tens of millions of dollars and they don't impeach him. But let's see what happens. If you want a president who leaves $500 million worth of wall materials to rust on the desert floor, while illegal aliens stampede over them, they walk right over those panels. They're laying dead on the floor, rotting and rusting. If you want that in your communities, then you should immediately get up and vote for crooked Joe Biden. Does anybody want to vote for Biden in this audience?
Of course not. Of course not.
I'm glad you said that. It would be probably dangerous. If we could have some danger, somebody, well, I'd like to. If you want a president who will seal the border, stop the invasion, and reclaim our sovereignty on day one, then you must vote for President Donald J. Trump. Right?
Very clear on that message. Dropping our Corn Pop for $1.99 super sticker. Appreciate you, Corn Pop. Is a bad dude. Anna says Vivek would be great to reform the FDA in their whole process. As of now, the FDA gets their funding from the companies they're super poised to oversee. It's corrupt as hell, and he's aware of it. We need to reform that desperately. Yeah, I think when we come back in, especially because he got bamboozled on the Rona, I think Trump's got to come in hard when he comes in and just really reform the FDA. He's got to come out swinging on those guys. So if Vivek comes out there as a reformer of the FDA, if that's all that Vivek does, that would be a good thing. if he just comes in and does that one thing, and that's his like little task as VP is to fix the FDA, and he does it, that would be good. Because right now it's literally one hand paying the other. It's all very circular with the FDA and their approvals. And look, I've sat on IRB boards. I know what goes on in these approvals, and they're sometimes very, very suspect. I'll just say they're very, very suspect.
And, you know, if you think about it, crooked Joe Biden has three major problems, and they all begin with the letter I: inflation, immigration, and incompetence. You know, very
All
simple.
right.
I sort of like that line. And when I said Mexico will pay for the wall, they did, because they supplied us with 28,000 soldiers at our border free of charge. You ever notice?
That's pretty good.
There was no legal mechanism. How do you get somebody to give you a check for you building a wall? But I said to the president, I said, you got to give us 28,000 soldiers. No, 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 no. I won't do that. And I said, well, you got to. I'm sorry. Otherwise, we're going to have to do something. No, 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 we will not do that. I said, one other thing you have to give us. You have to give us a policy stay in Mexico. In other words, nobody can come in. They have to stay in Tijuana, lovely city. They have to stay in Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
I'll be honest. I've never been to Tijuana. So people, give me your Tijuana reviews in the chat. I want to know, are you guys, is Tijuana tasty? Where's Mexican Iron Man? Hey, Mexican Iron Man, you busy mowing the lawn? We got to get him in here. We got to get some real, even though he's probably never been to Tijuana. It's me just profiling him, which is naughty. But I guess we're watching Trump now, so I have to be a profiling, bigoted, racist, misogynist. So yeah, we need my Mexican brothers. How's Tijuana? Let me know. Let me know. Is it?
No, we will not do that. The other thing you have to give us catch and release. I want to release them too. You catch them, release them. We release them in America. I want to catch and release them in Mexico. In other words, I'll catch them and release them here. I want to drop them in. No, 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 no. So he sends over a stop negotiator to us, and we dealt with the State Department. You've maybe heard this story. I told it a couple of times. Dealt with a wonderful woman at the State Department. I said, I want them to give us 28,000 soldiers. I want to get rid of catch and release. I want to release them in Mexico. And I want to stay in Mexico and other things, right? And I want other things. And she said, very good woman. She said, sir, I've been asking for these things for 25 years. I've been in charge. They will not do that. So the head guy comes in, top guy. I said, this is what I want. I want 28,000 soldiers. I want catch and release. I want all of these things. And by the way, 7 other things that are almost as bad. No, we will not do that. He looked at me like, am I dealing with a fool? I said, oh, you will do that. 100% you'll do that. No, 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 I will. 100%. Let me make you a bet that you will approve this. No, no, no. I said, let me tell you, if you don't approve it, this was a Friday, on Monday morning at 7 o'clock, I'm imposing a 25% tariff on all of the cars that you stole from us for the last 35 years. Every car coming into the United States will have a tax or a tariff put on it of 25%. And every other item coming into the United States will have a tax put on of 25%. So anything coming into the United States, which is hundreds of billions of dollars, will have a tax of 25% starting on Monday morning at 7 o'clock. And here's the document. And I signed it before your very eyes. He said, Mr. President, may I have 5 minutes? I would like to go back and make a call. And he did make a call to the president, who I have a lot of respect for, by the way. He's a friend of mine. He's great. He's a socialist, but you can't have everything. But he's great.
Well, I will say, though, you do need more friends. Like, you do actually have to have friends and other people that you're associated, not associating with, but like that you talk to that have different beliefs that challenge you. I think it is important to have people that challenge you. Look, shout out to Nate. Nate, the lawyer, pushed back, on some of the stuff we're talking about Russell Brand. And I still respect the guy, still like him, even though we disagreed intellectually. It's good to have people you can bounce ideas off of. I think that is good. Now, it doesn't mean you take their advice, doesn't mean they're right. They can be very wrong. But I think it is good to bounce ideas off of people, even if they have different philosophies or mindsets or kind of coming from a different political background. And
he's popular. He's a very good guy. But he comes back.
But yes, the problem is the problem is modern lefties can't take a joke and they can't have an intellectual discussion. They break down. And the thing is, the amount of lefties or people that can actually have a conversation is very little, right? They're like rare Pokemon that can actually have an intellectual discussion and not break down into just hyperbolic talk or just ad hominem attacks or personal attacks that actually are talking about the concept, not the person.
I am pleased to inform you that we would love to give you 28,000. We would love to take MST 13 gang members back into our country. It would be a great honor to have 28,000 soldiers guard your border. I said, free of charge. Yes, sir, absolutely free. We would never want anything because the money we're talking about is like 10 times. So with all those idiots that say Trump didn't get anything for the wall, let them know we got 28,000 soldiers free of charge, plus plenty of other things. We appointed over 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court judges. And I stood proudly with our friend and ally, the state of Israel. And I will do it again. You heard about today, the Hamas terrorist invasion. I mean, when you think about, and what do you think of Hamas? What do you think? Do you know about Hamas? The terror invasion of Israeli territory and the murder of Israeli soldiers and citizens is an act of savagery that must be and will be.
So here we go. So now we're getting into Israel, guys. So I mean, this whole thing was predicated on him getting into this. So now we're getting into the thumbnail. You know, you always want to wait. Is it clickbait or not? No, this is actually gets into the Israeli-Hamas conflict. So now we're finally wading into it. Deha Co. for $9.99 says, in Tijuana at a souvenir stand underneath a strip club in a dark alleyway, purposely bought a counterfeit gold-painted Rolex for $20. Haggled down from $60. Tipped the merchant $5 for his effort. Very nice, Deha. I want to see that. When we meet up at some point, I want to see this counterfeit Tijuana Rolex that you bought outside of the donkey show. I really want to see it because I like stuff like that. I get offered fake Rolexes. Obviously, I'm in Southeast Asia. I get offered fake Rolexes every single 10 minutes. Like I'm just offered a fake Rolex. So I'm very used to that.
Crushed and avenged, has to be crushed. Israel's at war and the United States has to support Israel. We have to support Israel. There's been no better president for Israel than me. And nobody loves Israel more than the evangelical Christians, I will tell you that. This war happened for 2 reasons. The United States giving Iran $6 billion. How about that deal? We get 5 terrorists, they get 5 terrorists, or we get 5 prisoners, they get 5 prisoners. Call them whatever you want. 5 and 5, okay. I'm sure it wasn't a good deal because like in the case of Russia, one of the people they got back was the leading arms dealer in the history of the world. Okay? Leading arms dealer in the history of the world. He's going out now purchasing arms for Russia. Very good trade they made. I'm sure our trade was likewise. But they added one little caveat. Plus we get for them $6 billion. So we get 5 and they get 5. Sounds good. And they also get $6 billion. And our country's perceived weakness and an incompetent and corrupt leader, Joe Biden, who's laughed at all over the world. He's laughed at all over the world.
Yeah, that was frozen money in a South Korean bank account. So there was $6 billion frozen in a South Korean bank account, and that was unfrozen and given back to Iran. Of course, they had to promise that they wouldn't use it for naughty things. They had to promise they wouldn't use it to fund terrorism. And they made a pinky promise. They said, we swearsies, we will not use this $6 billion for anything bad. We swears it. We'll be good. We'll be good kids. We will use this money for good. Yeah.
People can't believe this is happening. President Xi, who is so smart, so many of these people, they have a meeting and they say, this can't be happening. The guy doesn't have a clue. And
Richie, no one's trying to get
newspapers. Thank you very
ended
much,
in a
fellas.
conflict.
They've been very generous to me. I predicted war in Israel immediately after it was announced that Joe Biden gave the $6 billion to Iran. They got so much money. At this time, Israel and the United States need a very strong partnership and leadership. I got to have strong leaders. You don't have strong leaders, it doesn't matter how many army tanks you have. In addition to the billions of dollars given to Hamas, top funder Iran, Joe Biden restored hundreds of millions of dollars to the very corrupt Palestinian entities. He gave them hundreds of millions of dollars. Many people didn't even know it.
Because the worst elements here are 100% foreign funded, right? The foreign funded elements are the absolute worst elements here. And that's where a lot of this is coming from, is all the foreign funding, right? At this point, it's Iran, but in the past, it's been other countries. It's been Turkey, it's been Egypt, etc., right? So that's been the real issue at the core of all this, is the inflow of foreign weapons and foreign funds. And by the way, I was being very clear. I don't try to take a pro anything. I'm anti-interventionalist, and I'm generally anti-new wars. I don't think America should be dragged into any new war, period, regardless of who's right and who's wrong, where the moral side is, X, Y, Z. I'm pretty anti. At this point, everybody should be dealing with themselves and be self-sufficient. They're their own countries, right? So they have the ability to fund themselves and not be subsidized by the United States. That's how I do it. That's how my general strategy in just at large for everything, right? Is everybody needs to be paying their own way. Anna P says, I'm ethically Armenian Christian, born in Iran, fled in 98. Know a lot of those over in LA, actually. My dad said this would happen the second Biden released the $6 bill. The $6 billion. Iran can never be trusted. Also, 2 of the 5 prisoners that were negotiated for chose not to return to America. Isn't that weird? That the prisoners that America negotiated for chose not to come back to America because they knew F America. Like literally, that's bad. That's real bad. That's real bad. But yeah, you cannot trust Iran with this. You cannot trust the Iranian government. Like, obviously, they're not going to keep their end of the deal. Let's continue here. Come on.
Wonder what deal he made. Joe Biden betrayed Israel. He betrayed our country. As president, I will once again stand with Israel, and we will cut off the money to Palestinian terrorists on day one. We'll cut it off on day one. And Biden and Obama were terrible to Israel because they begged him. Bibi Netanyahu came here.
And I'll say it for the chat here real quick. It's a little laggy, but I want to say in the chat, I like somebody in the chat. I think it was Gidley, and I normally don't highlight this, but I'll highlight this one. I like this one. Principled isolationism. I appreciate that. I like that take. Principled isolationism. It's not without reason or logic, but like there's principles and things we stand for, and we have our lines, we have our principles. And if you violate those principles, we're going to go ahead and then we're going to do something, but not unless it violates American principles and American direct interests, not this indirect. Well, if Ukraine falls, then, China will be emboldened to attack Taiwan. What? No, that's a ridiculous argument. Richie says for 10, Biden gave $6 billion to Iran and $8 billion to Israel in response. Best Raytheon president of all time. Yeah, exactly. And if you look at the connections at the top end, they've been getting
begged
a lot.
Obama, begged him, please, sir. I mean, he literally, the way he was talking, it was the craziest thing. He was begging him, don't do the Iran nuclear deal. I ended it. And if we had our administration, we would have had a deal with Iran already. It would have been a good deal. They wouldn't have had a nuclear weapon. Now they're 3 months away from having a nuclear weapon. And once they have a nuclear weapon, the conversations become much more difficult. This guy, this poor, sad sack of a president that we have, will lead us into World War III, 100%. I've made and I hope that's a prediction that I'm wrong on. But we've never been closer. We've never been closer than we are right now. And he tweaks the wrong people at the wrong time. He says the wrong thing at the wrong time. If he says anything at all, he's not respected at all. It's a disgrace. They spend all their money with the DOJ on screwing opponents. That's what they do. That's all they're good at. You are closer to World War III. And I can say this,
Very
if
true.
I'm elected, I'm the only one that can say it. You will never have World War III. You will not have World War III.
And
less than 4 years ago, we had the historic Abraham Accords, which everyone said, when will you get your Nobel Peace Prize? Should have. I had 5 things I should have gotten a Nobel Prize, but I said, I'm not going to get one. They gave one to Obama when he got elected. 2 weeks later, they got elected. He didn't. Why did I get it? Does anyone know? He didn't even do anything. He didn't do too much after that either.
And let me just be clear on the nuclear side. There's a lot of countries that that they're already there, and we don't talk about it. Over in Asia, there's a lot of countries that aren't supposed to have nukes that we all know have nukes. Yeah, let me actually refresh this for a second while we're kind of loading up here. But there's a lot of countries out there that people don't think. They're like, oh, they don't have nukes, right? It's like South Korea doesn't have nukes. Yeah, South Korea has nukes. Japan has nukes. A lot of different places have nukes that people don't talk about, right? So there's a lot of places. Taiwan probably has nukes. Iran probably has nukes, right? Like a lot of these places do, right? Japan's the biggest cough. Like Japan is like well known. Like they're like, oh yeah, we've got these solid state rockets and we've got all these nuclear power plants with this nuclear fuel that just happens to disappear. It's like, yeah, of course, but they can't say it. They can't say it. They come out and say it, but it's there. All right, so I refresh this, so it should be a little bit better. Let's rock and roll.
Goes 2,000 miles. One goes 300 miles. What kind of stuff is that? You have to stop 6 times as opposed to none?
Catch this up here.
From 129 countries, we think. They don't have any idea. They have no idea what's happening. I had the greatest guys. I had the safest border in the history of our country, and now we have the unsafest border in the history of the world, because there's never been a country like this. But it's a horrible thing that's happening and very dangerous. And these people are very aggressive people. They drink, they have drugs, there are a lot of things happening.
Hold on.
They're very, very aggressive. I heard a woman talk.
Hold on. When I refreshed, it rewound a little bit. So let's go live on this.
Why their approval rating, I'm very proud to say, during my time, it was at an all-time high before I got elected because people didn't know them. And now it's at the lowest it's ever been. It's lower than Congress. Can you believe that? I'm extremely pleased to tell you that I was responsible for that. But they have to clean up their act because nobody believes them. That's why their ratings are all going down the tubes. That's why nobody buys any of their stuff. You take a look at CNN, it's got no ratings. Oh,
CNN is trash. Even though the funny thing is that like the stream that I'm getting this from is CNN on YouTube, which is hilarious. Richie says nukes don't exist. I have the document. Okay, I for the first time heard the theory. Actually, Ben of Integrity Legal told me this theory that there is a good book on a theory that nukes don't actually exist, or there's not as many that exist as people think. I don't buy that. The theory is, okay, it could just be a Moab or a very large bomb, right? And I'm like, I'm not necessarily. You're gonna have to go back. You're gonna have to go down to Bikini Atoll and convince me of that. But interesting. I never heard that one before. I've never heard that one before. I think it was the book was like Death Object, I believe.
Okay, turn it on. I'm finished with you. MSNBC is a horror show. It's just an absolute tremendous respect. Fox is way down too, by the way, 35 points down because people feel they're just not like the old Fox. They're just not like the old Fox, and we all know what that means. But we will evict Joe Biden from the White House, and we will finish the job once and for all. The great silent majority is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. With your help, your love, and your vote, we will put America first, and we will quickly and strongly make America great again. Thank you.
There it is,
Thank
baby.
you, Iowa. God bless you. God bless you.
There it is, baby. That was Trump there with his comments a little bit on Israel. Not so much, by the way. I mean, it was like, we're going to back him up, but not so much there in bad stuff. But I think, once again, I'm feeling that big Trump energy. Like I listened to a lot of his other speeches, a little bit low energy, a little bit not as good. That one I think was pretty good. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that was a good one, bad one? Was that good level in terms of Big Daddy T? Just want to know what you guys are thinking. Is it big T energy? Is it small T energy? What's up? What's up? let me see here. So, couple chats coming in over here on the other platforms. So we'll get those real quick. Over here on locals, Ben SC for $1 said, sadly, most of the left are founded in logic and emotion. So when challenged, they default to that. Yes, they default to ad hominem attacks when you go to talking about logic and emotion because they don't know how to operate in anything but that. That's all they got. All they got is ad hominem attacks. Leland said it was great. Don't mind me said solid over there on Rumble. Appreciate you over there on Rumble. All those hanging out over there. The based facts. Spec Cop 777, Trump 45-1, ban me. LC for life 06. Good to see all you guys over there on Rumble as well. So that's what we had today. That's what I had today. I just wanted to go through that, talk a little about the litigation. Obviously, real quick on the Trump litigation. I just want to show this, that we do have news that the litigation has been paused in some cases, in the classified document cases, while looking over his request for an extension. So in terms of the FBI probe, that's about the classified materials that were held at Mar-a-Lago, that is being paused. So that case is being paused right now. So that's one case that's paused. However, there's many other cases that are moving forward. And of course, the Democrats are going to make a big deal about every single case against Trump. So that's very, very material. Obviously, I'll stay on top of all the cases, all the major developments, and as well as I'm planning on having Scott from Future Conflict on to talk a little bit more about the specifics of this Israeli Hamas conflict and some of the things that have happened, the objective truth, some of the actual facts versus fiction. That'll be a different episode at nighttime, Asia time, probably tomorrow. So we will get that there. Guys, make sure you've smashed the like button here if you like this type of content, and also like me streaming. I like these longer streams. I think I'm going to be doing more 2-hour streams because this has been absolutely fantastic. Richie says the best evidence is that we're ruled by psychopaths and they have never used another one in 80 years, not a single one. Either a lot of self-control or maybe there's not as many as they think. That's also possible. But anyways, guys, take care. I'll see you guys later. Catch you later. Stay based. Peace.